Thank you so very, very much for that very warm introduction, that equally warm and wonderful welcome. You know, we are all participants in the creation of the present and the future, whether we like it or not. Either way we go, through silence or through our raised voices, through work that activates and motivates, or that which produces slumber, whether we commit ourselves to what can be or passively accept what is. Either way we go, all of us are participants. I am so pleased to be able to join with you this evening in this joyous celebration with an organization that has chosen to participate in the creation of not only a better present, but a better future, to a more compassionate and just America. On this, the 20th anniversary of the Human Rights Campaign, I salute you for your powerful dedication to the creation of a society free from homophobia, indeed free from all forms of bigotry and intolerance. HRC's contributions have improved the lives of countless members of the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgendered community, and in the process has strengthened the very fabric of our democracy. Let me take a moment to also commend and congratulate those who have been honored. Through your efforts, you have affirmed the truth found in the statement made by Booker T. Washington. There are two ways of exerting one's strength. One is pushing down, the other is pulling up. And truly, that spirit of dedication, of perseverance, of courage, of commitment, of stick-to-itiveness is sorely needed in these times in which we find ourselves. Yes, these times. For some, perhaps the best of times, but for far too many, perhaps the worst of times. These times call not for merriment, but for movement, not for cheerful contentment, but for constant commitment. Now, before I go any further, I do have to make one thing perfectly clear. I am a 100% dyed-in-the-wool, card-carrying believer in the dream. That is capital T, capital D. The dream that led my father from a bus boycott in Montgomery, Alabama, to the vision of the mountaintop in Memphis, Tennessee. That's the dream I believe in. It's a dream about freedom. Freedom from exploitation, from oppression, from prejudice, from poverty, from violence. The dream of a nation and a world where each and every child can have the opportunity to simply be the very best that they can be. I believe that along with racism, sexism, and anti-Semitism, homophobic attitudes and practices are unjust and unworthy of a free society and must be opposed by all Americans who truly believe in democracy. Now, there are the folks who, for whatever reasons, have chosen not to believe. Well. I call them the bystanders, standing as they often do on the sidelines of the great issues of our time. Of course, I know none of them are in this room. But I think you will recognize them. I think they tend to fall into three groups. The first group I like to call the woulda, coulda, shoulda folks. Now you see, these folks can really fool you because when they talk, they sound pretty dedicated. But when it's time to get down to business, time to do some real work, they're the first ones out the door. That is, if they showed up in the first place. Girlfriend, they'll tell you, I would have come to the meeting if I could have, but you should have called me. And then I would have asked my brother-in-law to ask his sister if her boyfriend could have run me by. Believe me, I woulda, coulda, shoulda. These folks are a trip. They can talk the talk, but you're in for a real disappointment if you expect them to walk the walk. And then, of course, there are the can't folks. For whatever reasons, they have decided that they just can't do any dream work. And, you know, I'm always saddened when I speak with them because, you see, they sit back and they hold their hands, hoping and praying that somebody, anybody will come along and deliver the dream. But you see, I've always been taught that you have to take at least one step. You've got to do your best, and then God will do the rest. Now, if those who can't make me sad, then those who won't make me mad. They frustrate me the most because, you see, in most instances, they understand the importance of what is needed, but they are caught up in ignorance or hatred or fear or conformity. And I guess the worst excuse of all, well, it's been like this always and nothing's going to change anyhow, so why bother? Oh yes, I have heard it all. And you know what? I am still a believer in the dream. Now, it's true, some of it is because I am the great-great-granddaughter, the granddaughter, the daughter, the niece, the sister, the cousin of ministers. When I was growing up in Atlanta, Georgia, I must have spent 8 days a week in the church. And so my faith has been nurtured and confirmed for as long as I can remember. I have been taught that the universal natural order of peace with justice will one day be restored, that unconditional love and unarmed truth will have the last say. I know in my heart that the dream will be realized. And so I'm a believer. And of course, another reason is because my parents, Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King, were, and mother still is, modern day architects of the strategies for achieving the dream. As you know, Mother has been on the front lines in support of this organization all across the country. I am a child of the dream. But another reason I believe is because I choose to believe. That's right, I choose to believe. You see, choosing is a very powerful act, and it is available to every last one of us. It does not matter who you are, what your circumstances are in every moment of your life. You can choose. You can choose patience over impatience, understanding over anger, action over inaction, compassion over condemnation. I have chosen to believe, and that choice gives meaning to every other choice I make. That is how all of our lives are fashioned, one choice at a time. What makes each of our lives unique is the individual set of choices that we make. Choice. It's a powerful tool, and the alternative, well, as someone has once wisely remarked and observed, we do know what happens to people who stand in the middle of the road. They get run over. In the 1950s and 60s, African American men and women made some choices, often dangerous ones, and they were joined by men and women of goodwill from all races, and together, tremendous progress was made toward the betterment of our nation. This is where the seeds that have blossomed into the Human Rights Campaign were planted. Through the leadership of Martin Luther King Jr., people were compelled to get up and do something towards the betterment of our society. He made us look at ourselves honestly. He made us look at ourselves honestly as a nation, as individuals, black, white, red, yellow, and brown, rich and poor, and we began to transform, and we reordered the conditions of many of our communities. As African Americans, we threw off the feeling of inferiority that had shackled us. We pulled ourselves up and demanded our God-given rights. As my father said on many occasions, a man can't ride your back unless it's bit. Many white people were freed from the shackles of bigotry that had suppressed and distorted their true humanity. Other people of color were encouraged to assert their rights, their values, their contributions. We came closer to becoming a multicultural society where people could come together in a spirit of compassion, sharing power and working together. The civil rights movement signaled some of the most important changes in the history of our country, and we must never forget the sacrifices that were made to achieve the gains that resulted. In far too many instances, however, we have forgotten. Our memories have blurred. Those of you in the audience who are my age, that is 39 and holding. Or as a friend of mine says, 30 through. Those of you who are 32 years of age and younger in this audience tonight, you were not even born when Martin Luther King Jr. walked with us. And for some of you, the civil rights movement may seem like ancient history. I was on the road, out on the road a little while ago, and this little boy came up to me. He was about 6 years old, and he said, "Is it true? Is it true? Are you really Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, looking at me as if I was a ghost, "Then why aren't you dead?" Eons and eons of years ago. But as we all know, it was not. Only 40 years ago, the ugly signs of segregation surrounded us, the sitting on the back of the bus, the signs that read for whites or for colored only, the terror of cross burnings and lynchings. And during the course of the struggle that started in 1955, the snapping dogs and the searing fire hoses, the beatings and the bombings that turned cities around the country into battlefields, they all seem like misty images from a horror story that we may have perhaps have read about or have seen on television. But the civil rights movement was not a mirage. It was not a documentary. It was not a television special. It was live and in living color. On December 1st, 1955, in Montgomery, Alabama, a courageous woman named Rosa Parks, who now lives in this city, she chose to stand up by remaining seated on a city bus, and she triggered a movement that propelled Martin Luther King Jr. into leadership, a movement that would change America forever. All because she chose to stand up. What did I tell you about the power of choice? The civil rights movement served as the inspiration for all of the movement for human rights which followed it. The women's movement, the peace movement, and of course, the rights of gays, lesbians, bisexuals, and transgendered people. Progress has been made. The 20-year history of HRSC has seen its share of successes and some defeats. It has been an uphill battle, and much remains to be overcome. However, as an uneducated but wise sage has said, We ain't what we used to be. We ain't what we gonna be. But thank God, we ain't what we was. Certainly the cause that brings us together this evening is a reflection of the dream. For you see, justice is indivisible, and discrimination against any group of people cannot be tolerated. The civil rights movement that I believe in thrives on unity and inclusion, not division and exclusion. As my father said on numerous occasions, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are all tied together in a single garment of destiny, an inescapable network of mutuality. I cannot be what I ought to be until you are allowed to be what you ought to be. As your theme states, we are equal. Conscience demands that freedom-loving people should have a policy of zero tolerance for the persecution and repression of anyone or any group of people. Yeah. Again, to quote Martin Luther King Jr., the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in times of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in terms of challenge and controversy. On some issues, cowardice asks the question, is it safe? Expediency asks the question, is it politic? Vanity would ask the question, is the position safe? But conscience asks, is it right? And sometimes we must take positions that are neither safe nor politic nor popular, but we must take them because conscience dictates that it's right. And so I stand with you, my brothers and sisters, with the faith that conscience and truth will prevail. The upcoming national elections provide an opportunity for all of us to continue the progress toward a more progressive society. Too many people have given up on voting because they see it as removed from their own self-interest, from their families, from their communities. We cannot buy into that. As the Human Rights Campaign has proven, it works if you work it. We must turn out on Tuesday in record numbers to support the candidates, and I think we should know by now, if we didn't before we came tonight, after tonight, we should know the candidates that have proven their support of our issues. But see, I know everybody in this room will be voting, but in addition to that, each one of you should ensure that at least 5 people that you know will be voting on Tuesday. Get on the phones, call them, take them to the polls if necessary. We must turn out for this election. But you see, once those people get in office, we also must hold our elected officials accountable. That's the second part of the process. We must work with them, and when it is necessary, we must work on them, as HRC has done magnificently to make sure that they honor their promises. What we must all do in the community of human rights organizations and activists is to become more active in working for a common vision, as well as the agendas of our respective organizations and interest groups. We must build and strengthen coalitions of people of goodwill. Take the time to become better informed about each other's issues, support each other, speak out, and take action for justice for all people. The issue of affirmative action comes to mind. Right-wing politicians are waging assaults on affirmative action in dozens of states across the nation. Make no mistake about it, they are supported by the same homophobic groups that are trying to stop every item on HRC's legislative agenda. You must remember that affirmative action directly benefits the membership of HRC that are women and people of color, and indirectly it benefits all members because it affirms the spirit of inclusiveness in the workplace. If we want to create a truly just and decent society, then we must work together to rectify injustices against all people. We must hold fast to the dream of the beloved community, as my father called it, which people can live together in a spirit of trust, understanding, harmony, love, and peace. It has been said, there are three kinds of people in the world. There are those who stand on the sidelines and watch things happen. There are the few who get involved and make things happen. And there are the many who don't know what happened. What kind of person are you? It's time to make a choice. I, for one, choose to dream and to act on my dreams. Most importantly, following the example that my parents taught and remembering the words of Bobby Kennedy, some see things that are and ask why. I see things that never were and ask, why not? And remembering and realizing the truth found in a statement of Edmund Burke's, all that is necessary for the forces of evil to win in this world is for enough good people to do nothing. Yes. And to anyone who would choose to defer the dream, all of our dreams, this is what I have to say to them in the inspirational words of Dr. Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness affect you? Why are you beset with gloom? Because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like suns and like moons with the certainty of tides. Just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my own soulful cries? Does my confidence upset you? Oh, don't you take it so hard. Because I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may even try and kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like life, I'll rise. Does my sexiness confound you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history, shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm an ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that our ancestors gave, I am the dream. You, each and every one of you, are the dream. We are the dream and the hope of the brave. I rise. You rise. Together we will rise. God bless you and thank you.